Good morning everyone. For the journal of discussion, I have taken the article Exosomes of Human Adipose Stem Cells Mitigate Irradiation Injury to Salivary Glands by Inhibiting Epithelial Mesenchymal Transition through MIR 199A 3P targeting twist1 and regulating TGF-beta SMAD3 pathway. This article was published in Theranostics Journal in January 2025 with impact factor of 11.5. So the study setting is conducted in China with collaborating institution in Canada. So various terminologies that we need to know before proceeding with the journal club discussion. Exosomes, small extracellular vesicles that is having a size of 30 to 150 nanometer released by cells that transfer proteins, RNA and signaling molecules to other cells. ADS, exo, that is adipose derived stem cell exosomes. These are the exosomes isolated from the human adipose stem cells used for therapeutic effects. And in this journal they have used this source of isolation. Irradiation induced salivary gland. The salivary gland tissue damage due to radiotherapy exposure, and EMT, that is the biological process where the epithelial cells lose polarity and gain fibroblast-like mesenchymal properties. Type 2 EMT, it is a subtype of the EMT associated with tissue repair and fibrosis rather than cancer progression. MIR 199A 3P, it is a microRNA identified in exosomes that regulates CMT by targeting specific genes like the twist1. What is the microRNA? Small non-coding RNA molecules that regulate the gene expression post-transcription, and also twist1, a transcription factor that promotes the EMT and fibrosis when it is overexpressed in the cells. TGF-beta1, a cytokine that induces EMT and activates fibrotic signaling pathways. SMAD3, a downstream regulatory intracellular signaling protein activated by the TGF-beta1. And this pathway, TGF-beta1 SMAD3 pathway, a signaling cascade that regulates inflammation, EMT and fibrosis. Ultracentrifugation, it is a high-speed centrifugation method used to isolate exosomes from conditioned media. Nanoparticle tracking analysis, as I already said, it is a characterization technology for measuring the size and concentration of the nanoparticles like exosomes. TEM we have already known for visualizing the ultrastructure of the cells and the exosomes. Hydroxyproline assay, they have done the hydroxyproline assay for use to quantify collagen content in tissues. Mason trichome staining for histological staining to visualize collagen and fibrosis in the fibrosis models. Aquaporin 5, bottle channel protein marker for the functional acinar cells in salivary gland. CD44, we know this cell surface glycoprotein associated with mesenchymal phenotype and EMT pathways. E-cadherin, it is an epithelial cell adhesion molecule that decreases during the EMT. GW4869, it is a chemical inhibitor used to block the exosome secretion that was used in this study. Dual luciferase reporter assay, it is a molecular assay used to confirm microRNA binding to target genes 3' UTR region. And SMG-C6 cells, this is the rat submandibular glands epithelial cell line used for the in vitro experiments in the study. And the conditioned media, culture media containing secreted factors from cells, including proteins and vesicles. So what is the novelty? What we already know. What is the literature gap and what motivated the researchers to take up the study. So we know radiotherapy causes salivary gland hypofunction primarily through fibrosis and EMT pathways, and TGF-beta signaling is a key driver of this process. Stem cell derived exosomes have shown regenerative and anti-fibrotic effects in other irradiated tissues, but evidence in salivary glands was minimal and mostly short-term studies have been done. So what is the literature gap? There was no clear evidence in vivo that mesenchymal stem cell derived exosomes could restore long-term salivary gland function after irradiation, and specific molecular mechanism, that is particularly the role of the EMT regulated microRNA mediated targeting, remained undefined. So this lack of literature evidence motivated the scientists to effectively curate therapy for radiation-induced salivary gland damage, and emerging therapeutic potential of the role of exosomal microRNAs prompted investigation into whether adipose-derived exosomes could functionally regenerate glands and mechanistically suppress the EMT pathway. So what was the methods? So the preclinical experimental study was conducted both in vivo and in vitro cell culture experiments. Human adipose tissue from 5 donors, that is ranging from the age of 30 to 76 years, was used to isolate adipose derived stem cells using collagenase digestion and culture expansion. Exosomes were isolated from conditioned media of adipose derived stem cells using sequential centrifugation and ultracentrifugation. Exosomes were characterized by nanoparticle tracking analysis, TEM, Western blot for cluster of differentiation 9, cluster of differentiation 84, and tumor susceptibility gene 101. In the animal model, 30 C57BL6 female mice were divided into 5 groups, that is 6 in each, including sham group, normal saline group, conditioned media group, exosome and soluble protein groups. Salivary gland injury was induced by single 14 gray targeted head and neck irradiation followed by tail whale exosome injection, that is 2 micrograms per microliter weekly for 2 weeks. Functional recovery was assessed by using salivary flow marker, rate, lag time, that is the first onset of the drop of the saliva, total salivary protein estimation, and body weight monitoring also was done. Histological and fibrosis evaluation was done using H&E staining, per-iodic stiff staining, Marshall trichome staining, and hydroxyproline assay. Molecular analysis include RT-PCR, RNA sequencing, immunofluorescent techniques, Western blot to study the epithelial mesenchymal transition, and transforming growth factor beta-1 signal SMAD3 signaling pathway, its role. And the mechanistic validation was performed using MIR 199A 3P mimic inhibitor transfection, 2:1 knockdown overexpression, and dual luciferase reporter assay with statistical analysis. For the statistical analysis, student t-test and one-way NOVA with Tukey's post-hoc test were used for group comparisons. These tests compared the flow rate, lag time, and total salivary protein and body weight between the groups. Histological parameters such as the collagen area, that is the Mason trichome staining that was used, and hydroxyproline levels were statistically analyzed. Cell proliferation with the use of the markers of Ki67 staining and cell counting kit 8 assay was compared across treatment groups. Gene expression and protein expression for epithelial mesenchymal transition markers and transforming growth factor beta were statistically evaluated. Results were expressed in mean and standard deviation, and exosomal treated groups showed significant improvement in salivary function, reduced fibrosis, increased epithelial markers, and decreased mesenchymal markers compared to normal saline group. So what were the results? The adipose-derived stem cells exosomes were successfully isolated and confirmed by nanoparticle tracking analysis, TEM microscopy, and Western blot markers. Exosome-treated mice showed significant restoration of the salivary flow rate, reduced lag time, and increased salivary protein levels after irradiation. The Ki67 staining demonstrated increased salivary cell proliferation in the treated groups. Ultrastructural analysis showed preserved mitochondria and secretory granules in the acinar and the ductal cells. Fibrosis was significantly reduced, shown by Mason trichome staining and hydroxyproline assay. Also, the functional epithelial markers, the aquaporin 5 and E-cadherin were upregulated while mesenchymal markers were reduced. This SMAD transforming growth factor beta pathway levels decreased, indicating pathway suppression. RNA sequencing revealed that exosomes reversed the EMT related gene expression changes, and this MIR 199A3P was significantly enriched in exosomes and promoted epithelial recovery after irradiation. And this proves that this targets the twist1, thereby inhibiting epithelial mesenchymal transition via this pathway. So what is the study design and the checklist title? So it is a preclinical experimental animal study with mechanistic in vitro validation. It will follow the ARRIVE guidelines, ARRIVE 2 essential set. The study design, control groups and parallel allocation were clearly described. Sample size 36 per group was reported, but power calculation was not done. Animal characteristics, species, sex, age, source were adequately detailed and performed. Ethical approval was taken from the institution. Experimental procedures including the irradiation dose, injection route and timing were well described. Outcome measures and statistical analysis methods were appropriately reported. Randomization was mentioned, but the method of allocation was not explained. Blinding procedures were not clearly described. Overall, it shows moderate to good adherence to arrive to guidelines, but lacks on power size calculation, allocation concealment and blinding protocols. So what are the strengths of the study? So it integrates both in vivo animal experiments and in vitro mechanistic studies for validating, strengthening the biological relevance and causality. It demonstrates long-term functional recovery for up to 6 weeks and not just short-term histological improvement. Multiple outcome levels were assessed: functional, histological, ultrastructural, molecular and mechanistic. So it is providing comprehensive evidence for clinical translation. The study identifies a specific molecular mechanism rather than reporting only phenotypic effects, and proper control groups and the comparator groups strengthen the internal validity of the results and the isolation of the exosomes for the studies. What are the limitations? But small sample size with no reported power calculation, blinding procedures were not clearly described, increasing the risk of detection of bias using outcome assessment, and the study used only female mice, limiting generalizability across sexes. Although long-term follow-up was done, it remains a preclinical animal model. Clinical translation to humans is really uncertain, and we have to proceed with a larger animal models and then into human translation. Only one major pathway, that is the microRNA 199A3P, was mechanistically validated, while other potentially active exosomal components were not explored. No detailed reporting of the adverse effect or the toxicity evaluation of the exosome therapy was reported, and lack of comparison with current clinical treatments for radiation-induced salivary gland damage was done. So what can be done in the future? So clinical translation studies should be conducted to evaluate the safety, optimize doses and efficacy of these adipose-derived stem cells that are isolated in patients undergoing radiotherapy for head and neck cancer. Dose response and timing optimization studies need to determine the most effective exosome concentration and therapeutic window after irradiation. Further research should explore other bioactive components within the exosome, including additional microRNAs, proteins and non-coding RNAs that contribute to regeneration purposes. Studies comparing exosome therapy with current standard treatments for radiation-induced salivary gland function would clarify clinical advantage. So comparative study needs to be done. Long-term safety studies assessing tumor recurrence risk and systemic effects of the population are essential before human application. Development of engineered enriched exosomes could enhance therapeutic specificity and potency. And lastly, the exploration of the biomaterial-based local drug delivery system may improve target